Hello, welcome to the channel. Bob here, and I'm doing another Outward video today. A couple of people have mentioned to me that they've sort of bought the game based on my video, which I always feel a bit funny about, because I think to myself, well, you know, what if you don't like it? It's kind of why I don't do review videos really, although I kind of always wanted to do more of that kind of thing. But anyway, because of that, I thought I would do a video just giving you some tips on how of how I got started, and some of the things that there's kind of a lot of these what I wish I'd have known videos before I started playing, and I generally try to avoid them, because I do think it's better to experience the game for yourself, like from fresh. But just in case you wanted to know how I got started and the things, I actually kind of restarted shortly after, because there's a couple of things that I learned that that I wanted to take advantage of. So the first thing is that there's a pause button, which I've only recently just found out. Even though in the menu it says pause game, just did not notice that, because when you hit escape, unlike other games, it's a bit like an MMO where it doesn't pause the game, but you can pause the game. I've just discovered. So that's a thing. Pausing the game is a thing. I've only just discovered it. Use it, abuse it, whatever you would like, whatever you want to do. So that's the first point, the most important. I'd say the most important one, the one that I've just discovered myself. So that's quite important. So the second one is, as soon as you start the game, you get a quest. There's a main quest which kicks off pretty much as soon as you load into the game, and it requires you to earn some silver. And you can go about earning silver. You've got a time limit to do it in, but I actually managed to do it the first time, but then I realised that you can complete the quest without paying the silver, which is, it's not the end of the world, but silver is the most important commodity in the game as far as I'm concerned, and it does make a difference. So when you start off the game, the main quest section where you need to pay 150 silver, there is a way around that. It's by earning a clan favour. So the way, I'm not going to run through the quest with you. I've already done it, obviously, but the way that you do it is basically you when you're in Cierzo, however you want to pronounce it. This door here leads you to like a storage area, and then you go into a little dungeon. If you follow the dungeon around, eventually you get to a point where you need to drop off a ledge, and you can't get warning, you can't come back from it, so you'll need to find your own way to the city. But if you fall off the ledge, you fall off the ledge, you go through an exit, it takes you onto a beach, and on this beach there is a thing that I'm going to let you search for yourself, because I don't want to give it all away, but there's a thing that you can search for, and you complete a quest there, and you get a tribal favour. So that tribal favour then completes the quest, so you don't have to pay the silver. And as I said, silver is very important, so it's really something that I would recommend. Now let's go over here. There's an easy way of paying the silver if you wanted to, and this lady up here in the blue robe looks a bit, I'm trying to think of the robe in EverQuest that kind of looks a bit like this robe, and I can't remember it offhand, but anyway, it's a blue robe. But anyway, this lady here will give you a quest, which will pay some silver, and I will show you where you need to go to complete the quest. I've actually got a cold at the moment. I've taken some medicine to get rid of it, but it keeps saying I'm coughing. I don't think it's fatal. I think it's my stamina regen is much lower, which is quite annoying actually. Although I've got a stamina recovery bonus, so maybe that evens things out. Yeah, so it's she will give you a quest, and the quest pays some silver. And then she's also looking for she's also someone who collects special items. So where you go to complete the quest, she will also give you a special item. You will also find a special item which you can give her for more silver. So basically what this allows you to do is start off with some silver, which you may not have had if you'd have done the quest in the traditional way. So that's that tip. So that allows you to start off with some silver. It's probably worth talking about silver now, and that silver is very important in the game. The way that you progress your character is not through levels. It's through improving your equipment, but more importantly, it's through buying skills. and it's important. That's my opinion. It's the most important thing, I would say. I'm not sure if that's still. It looks like that is still broken over there. I think I might have left it back at. Yeah. So anyway, I'm getting sidetracked there. So yeah. So silver is the most important thing. It's what you buy all your skills with, essentially. So it's super important. With regards to what skills to buy, I will go through a few now that I have bought. So, Jesus, dead end. I'll just go and show you an NPC. Where I think it's probably worth spending your first silver on. I think it only costs 50 silver. But there was a trainer up here. A lot of it will depend on what weapons that you want to use. The other thing is as well is that just here, when you start the game, there are some patterns to make yourself some leather armour, if you want to do that. I found that the armour, you basically quickly outgrow leather armour, so I'm not sure if it's actually worth doing. So this trainer here, Eto,
Amber, my friend.
train with him. So the skills that I've been increasing at the start were ones that increased my stats, basically. So fitness I picked first, increases your maximum health by 25, etc, etc. This one then increases your health, stamina and mana by an amount. I found a trainer in Berg that also has a skill that increases your stats. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I did initially at the start of the game, and I think that they're the best skills to invest your money in. They also don't cost skill points, I don't think, or at least most of them don't. So I like this guy's outfit. Got some lady's outfit. Got some leather clothing with a shovel. They're obviously going to do some digging in some place. So let's move on. Yeah. So so from a skills point of view, I've picked skills that increase my stats. I still don't have any weapon skills actually, because I haven't. Well, like melee weapon skills I haven't got because I haven't felt that I've needed them. So I've been spending my money on raising my stats, but also a couple of other skills that I will go into. So I'm hoping to be more of a mage type character at some point in the game. I've got some magey spells, but the reality is that the stones you require to cast spells and the way mana works, I think until I get myself... Oh, there's a mob up there, which is quite good. We can now talk about some little combat tip. I'm getting sidetracked again here, aren't I? But I thought I'd just show you some combat. So I mucked around with combat a lot, trying to find an easy way of doing things. In the previous video, I noted that it's quite difficult to play the game Dark Soulsy. You'll dodge or avoid a mob's attack, and you'll go in thinking, well, he should be vulnerable now, but some of them will almost immediately attack you again. So and mobs will attack through your attack. So if you're hitting it, it will still attack you through your attacks. If you're using a bigger weapon, there's more chance it will knock them down or knock them back. But even so, it can still happen. So this is probably a good point to point out tips about your pockets. So your pocket is stuff in your pockets. I've got the World Edge Great Axe in my pocket. I'm assuming it's slung on my back, but whatever. So this is your pocket. So many a time I've dropped my backpack to fight because it's easier, and discovered that I wanted to equip my weapon, only to discover that it was in my backpack, not my pocket. Plenty of times I wanted to quickly heal myself. I've discovered that all my healing has been in my bag, not in my pocket. So your pocket is crucial when you're fighting. Make sure you've got stuff in your pocket that you want to use. So your weapons and some healing, some endurance and mana gaining. You'll need fire stones or whatever stones you're going to use for your spells. So make sure your pocket has got stuff in that you're going to need in combat. I kind of wanted to go and when you drop your backpack on the ground, if you look at your compass, it always points you to where your backpack is. So okay, so these two. I just wanted to quickly show you a combat thing. I guess that this Chukabara, whatever it's called, will walk into a wall, yeah, and then the Kaina Coyote wolf type thing will maybe kill it, or maybe not. Okay, let's see if I can get into combat with any of these things. Oh god damn you! Well, I'll show you combat next time I find someone to fight. Yeah, so your pocket is really important. It's a hello. Here we go. I won't fight that. Let's move on. I'm going to show you a couple of locations to go to. There's another wolf up here, look, so we can have a fight. So what we covered so far, we covered silver is important. So as far as earning silver goes, what I would do, the game is very slow. Okay, you need to be patient. It's crucial that you're patient. If you're not going to have a lot of fun. So what I would do is, let's have a look at the map. So what I would do basically is, this is the starter city. Pick a section of the map, the first quarter. So this section here, and maybe the bandit camp, and farm this area basically. So at the start, the weight that you can carry is going to be quite low. So farm that area, kill everything, anything that you don't think you're going to need. Go back to town and sell it. That's basically the way to build up your silver, and just keep doing that. Then what I did when I felt a bit more confident, I stretched my legs. I think I went to the fort next, and I cleared through the fort. This took me up to this northeastern section, where there are some things to fight. Then I moved around the south, cleared all the locations out. There are some caves and dungeons and stuff that are not. Oops, hang on. There are some locations that are not featured on the map, so search around for those, clear everything out, go back, sell everything you can. I'm a bit of a hoarder, so I don't take my own advice, but there you go. Let's see if we can get in a fight here with one of these dudes. So from fighting, I tried dodging, blocking, but what I've basically found is that if you hold shift and run, you can hold shift and move to the side. You can basically trick most opponents into attacking, and they'll miss you, hopefully. I know I've got another mob coming up. They're all joining in. I only wanted one so I could actually give you more of an idea of how combat works, but I don't think that's probably going to work. So he's going to run away. Okay, you're dead. Right. It's the same situation again. The birds decided to join in, and they've run off together. That's great. Let's head over to the bandit camp, because where's my bag? Because I'm going to show you a little cheat that you can try it, maybe not. I actually did it the hard way in the end, because I felt a bit bad about cheating, but I'll show you a way that you could basically get this big backpack that I've got with 110 weight, pretty much at the start of the game. So the quests that the lady gives you back at the town is just along here. If you follow this path here, where you've got the carvings and these constructions over the road, this will lead you just over here to the northwest, where there is a what have we got there? Yeah, there's a cave. So in that cave, you'll be able to complete the quest for the lady, and also obtain an item that she will buy for you, and that gives you some starter silver to be getting on with. There's loads of stuff to loot there as well. I mean, as I said, you have to be patient. What I would personally do is fill up on stuff from wherever you are until you're overweight, and then just come back to the area. Some people might find that sort of gameplay annoying or frustrating or just too slow for them, but I've just found it important for building up your silver. Watch the trap on the bridge there, and at the other end. Yeah, you need to be patient with the game. Oh, really smokes. Okay, I don't want to catch another cold. So it's probably worth talking about consumables here. As you're playing through the game, you pick up loads of potions and teas and concoctions. I haven't really had to make too much, to be honest with you. A lot of the stuff that I've needed, I've just found it around. Let's go and make a campfire, and we'll talk about consumables and food and stuff. This is probably going to be pretty incoherent in comparison to other tips videos, but there you go. So campfire just requires 3 wood, which you'll get from chopping a tree once. We will then deploy it on the ground. You need flint to light it with, but I've never had a flint problem. I've always had flint, and so the fire will basically warm you up. So let's quickly talk about food stuffs and whatnot. When I first started playing the game, I was thinking, oh god, water and food, nightmare. But it's not too bad. You can pretty much get food anywhere. Most of the all of the maps so far have water, and you'll also get food from killing the wolves and those white Chukabara type mobs, whatever they are. Those white, massive, fluffy emu type things. So you cook all this on your fire. It's really easy. Just click F on your fire, and then it will. Can I cook that? Boiled miasma pod. Oh, I can cook those. Okay. Yeah, so cook on that, and then any meat that needs cooking, you can. Oh, I've just cooked some alpha meat there. That's pretty awesome. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I'm thirsty actually, so I do need to drink. Use. Okay. So let's use all of those, and we will talk about food and drink. I don't want this video to be super long, but there you go. So clean water, you can get it from the sea. Well, you know, it's not clean. You can get it from the sea or from a river. If you hit gather once, it will fill up one of your flasks, one of your water skins. I normally carry 2 with me. So the way to get clean water is basically just to boil it in the fire, essentially. So you'll get clean water. If you do it by the sea, what you will also get is some salt as well. So that's quite good. So I'm now full of clean water. That's fine. I've cooked some food, and you'll get fish spawns as well at the river. So food you can pretty much get on the go. Don't worry too much about it. I always carry water. Whenever I visit town or I'm near a lake, I'll always fill up on water. But from a food point of view, generally there are always locations where you can get food, so it's not too much of a problem. The most important consumable I've found is bandages, essentially, because it's one of the few things that will heal you. Or it's one of the few. Well, it's the only fairly cheap thing. Well, it's the only thing you can get for nothing, essentially, that will heal you. They're quite easy to make. I haven't got any. Yeah, all you need is linen cloth, which you can get from just mob drops. You'll also get it from breaking down cloth armor. So if you break down some cloth armor, you will get you'll get linen from it, and you can make bandages. I have never been short of bandages because there's so much linen cloth available. But just make sure you've got the cloth. Just make sure you've got some bandages. It's important. Let's go into the bandit camp. This will probably be the first place you come to clear out. So we will have a look round. Mobs do respawn here, so I'll see if the mobs have respawned. Maybe we can get into a fight so I can show you a bit more about the combat. Yeah, so okay. So let's talk a bit more about skills. So the one combat skill I've bought, and I bought it because it's completely OP, is my number 5. Hit a mob with that and just run around, basically. And the mob will die. I'll show you the skill in a second. So I kind of I don't use the skill very often because it's a bit OP. The reason I don't use it is because I just think that I'm not learning the rest of the game, whether it's melee combat or spells or whatever. You just can't become reliant on one skill. So that skill does bleed damage. What I do normally use it for is I can work out the damage that the mob's taken roughly. So it kind of gives me an idea of how tough the mob is, essentially. Let's pick up my backpack. I don't think I'm going to loot the band. Oh, I'll take the arrows actually, and I'll take the food. Yeah. So basically, this skill is called Piercing Shot, and I bought it from an NPC in Berg. And Berg is the Ermakar Forest or Plains or something. Basically, the NPC there will teach you this skill. So if you're not keen on the combat and you're looking for an easier time, this skill kills most mobs with one shot. I mean, I even tried it on some tougher mobs, and it killed them pretty quick. So yeah, it's fairly OP. I wouldn't recommend using it full on, because I think it will potentially spoil the game for you. Now if we can pull this guy, maybe we'll just use a normal shot on him. There's a bow called a horror bow, which also does poison damage, and I'm going to make the horror bow at some point just to see if it stacks. So here's the thing: you could, by not dodging or blocking, which takes up frames of animation, which is annoying, you can basically dodge, or you can dance around mobs and commit them to make an attack. When they make an attack, you go in and attack. I've got a flipping great big axe, so I'm killing mobs quicker than you probably would be, but that's all right, no problems. So in here there's a backpack. This backpack is in here. It's through this door. Okay, so as you can see, you need 2 of these power coil things to open it. Now I found one pretty early on in. Oh, he's there again. Look, so the backpack has respawned. And the scholar attire as well. I found I found 2 of these. I didn't find the second one until I moved to a different location. So that's the way. That's the easy way. That's the hard way of doing it. But if you want to cheat, which I did do as well, as you can see, the backpack does respawn. Run up this cliff here. And what you want to do is basically roll onto the roof. Not like that. I wonder if they've patched it out, because I don't know if the game's had a patch since I started. So I'd be interested to see. Let's sprint and do it. Okay, so talk to NPC. Okay, so if you get to this location and press F to talk to NPC, the door magically opens. So should you do it or not? I don't know. I mean, weight was one of the big issues with regards to starting the game, but I think that's all part of it. It's why we keep going back to EverQuest, right? Because it's hard. It's tough. That's what we want. Yeah. So it's up to you. I can understand why someone, for example, may get annoyed by the weight and thinks, I'm just going to get the backpack the easy way. Fine, that's fine. Don't have a problem with that. Certain things that I do have a problem with, but weight can be an issue. There's a nice little place up there that you can get into. There's a gate up there. You need to kill a bossy type mob, a bandit. Oh, hello. You need to kill a bandit lieutenant type mob up there. The mobs can sometimes try and attack through your attack. So what I'll normally do is maybe do one attack. Oh, knocked him up in the air with that one. Yeah. So what I'll normally try and do is do one attack. And then roll out of the way. That's the only time that I'll roll, is just to roll out of the way, essentially, after I've hit them. Yeah, so up there, there's a building where you get some loots. There's a couple of bossy type mobs, a mage and a lieutenant, where you get some loots from. So yeah, so as I said, from a silver point of view, you just go around looting all these mobs. I know it's you have to be patient, but just keep going back to town, and and selling, and just build up your silver, which will then allow you to buy the skills. At some point, you start killing mobs that drop. Oh, hello. You start killing mobs that drop. You start killing mobs that drop weapons that are worth 60. I mean, I've picked up some weapons that are worth 200-300 silver. So I'm a bit of a hoarder, so some of these seem to be like special weapons, so I keep them. That's just me. I think that's kind of all I've got to talk about. I'm trying to think of some little tricks and stuff that I picked up. The combat one was the biggest one, like discovering that I can just, use shift and strafe to the left or right to, just avoid the mob's attacks essentially. Mages you've got to be careful of. There's mages that fire cold spells at you, which are easy to dodge, but if you get in close, they do an AoE, which is quite frustrating, and will kill you. So that's it really. As I said, I mean, I kind of spread myself around, started clearing out some of the locations. I would leave Vendavel Fortress until a bit later on. I'll give you a little thing here to avoid any heartache later on. The main quest will lead you to Enmarker Forest, Enmerkar Forest. In there's a city called Berg, and while you're there, the main quest giver, assuming that you take this path, there are 3 different paths you see that you can take. I took this path, and at some point she will say that she's heard that Cierzo, however you want to pronounce it, I've said that already, is under attack. Go back there. If you go back here, you get a quest from the guy inside the city gates, which leads you to Vendavel Fortress, which is why I say leave that until later. The little trick here is that if you come back to Kersenazy, however they're pronouncing it, I'm really not sure. It sounds a bit Italian to me, but there you go. When you come back to this location, if you get the quest, but then leave the location and then come back again, you seem to auto fail the quest. I'm not sure if it's supposed to happen that way or if it's a bug, but it then basically means you can't access this city, so you might lose all the stuff in your chest. So what I would do is come back to locations, do the quest, and then do the quest while you're here before you go back again, wherever you may go. That's just that's a problem that I've seen online, so that's just something that I would recommend. I'm cold again. This is the only region so far I've found where I've only been to 2 regions so far, and I've played loads. The game is massive, and I have to say that this is one of the best not one of the best role-playing games, one of the best games I've played for a long time. I'm sure I had, let me just check over here, when you put a campfire down it kind of remains, so I kind of try to, I don't want to get cold again. Oh, hello. So yeah, I should remember where I put the campfires down, because you can because they stay there permanently, so you can just go to them again basically. Okay, but I don't want to catch another cold, so I'll put down a campfire. This has basically been that the not say problem. This is the when I was hunting in this region, this was the thing that I had to think about the most, because shortly after, for both of the times that I've started playing the game, shortly after each start, oh hello, oh come on now, shortly after each start, it started to snow, and the weather, it can be problematic, so you have to be careful. I had to plan things a bit more. As I've kind of moved on, see, it kind of moves towards you. When you move towards it, it'll move away. As time's gone on, I found myself not having to worry about being as prepared. I think mostly because you end up just picking up so much stuff. There are potions that protect you from the hot, the cold, disease, increase your damage, your impact damage. One of the things I had to do quite often when I first started the game was to keep resting to get my max stamina and health back. But as you go through the game, you'll pick up pastes and teas and potions and stuff that will increase your that will allow you to increase your max to regain some of your max health and stamina throughout the game. Let's do some magic. So let's do. So when you first get magic, you get a spell called Spark, which if you look in the bottom right hand corner is my E skill. It doesn't really do much in itself, but a lot of the spells in the game seem to require combinations. So Spark and Fire Sigil, which you have to stand in to use, will blast them for more damage, but also put a dot on him, so he will now die. So this is another skill that I use for another way of fighting. If I come across a bossy type mob, I'll put a fire dot on them first. Yeah, and then I so hope that the backpacks don't get bugged, and you never lose it basically. Dying is interesting because what essentially happens is a random thing can happen. Sometimes I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, some of them are quite fun, some of them are quite frustrating. Dying is the biggest problem in the game, because quite often when you come back from dying, you lose a lot of your max health and stamina, and you're hungry and you're thirsty. So if you wake up and you didn't have any resources on you, it can then be annoying, particularly if you die and you wake up in the cold and you're hungry and thirsty. Yeah, things can then get pretty tricky. But I think that's mostly covered what I did to start off with. Just be patient, build up your silver reserves. What have we got here? Okay, I'll take the food because I can cook that later. These hyenas and stuff have spawned. I'm not sure how long they take to spawn, but they have spawned. So food will respawn for you. So food and stuff will generally not be too much of a problem. You're always near wood to gather for fire. So again, the cold is more of an annoyance than anything else. It just means that you need to, just keep your campfires up. It might be an idea to make a little map for yourself and mark on it where you put your campfires, so that you can always return to them if there's a problem. I've kind of grown this area. I've kind of seen everything I need to see. So I'm about to I'm going to move my permanent location to Berg, because although saying that, I'm in Ermakar Forest, I have mostly cleared out myself as well now. So I'm going to move to Berg as a permanent location. But that basically means, like in Berg, you can buy yourself a house to live in, which I've done. But it doesn't seem to. You don't get joint stashes. So all of my stuff that I'm currently stashed here is stashed here. I can't access my stash at Berg, and and have a joint stash. But that's fine. It's part of the game. This game is meant to be tough. Joint stashes, no, thank you very much. That's not how it works. So what I'm going to do, let's check my weight. So I'm going to take all of my important. I've got some nice stuff here that I'm probably never going to use. I'm just keeping this stuff really because I'm a hoarder. But I'm going to take some of this stuff, and I'm going to move all of my all of my stuff that I'm going to use to craft with. I'm going to move it all to Berg, I think. Definitely want that. We definitely want that. We'll take that. I think I'll probably be alright weight wise. Oof. I definitely want the ammonite because someone can make some armour for that, and the blue sand as well. I'm not sure what to do with the blue sand. I can make some armour. I definitely want the palladium scraps. Definitely want that. I think salt is readily available, so I can always come back if I need to. But I think I'm going to transfer all of those resources to Berg. I think what we'll do, I don't think I've got enough gold actually. Let's go and see just one thing. We'll see there are some NPCs around the world who can make armor and weapons for you. You just need the right equipment. I'm assuming that these are special armor and weapons. The guy here can make armor with blue salt. I think it's a mage based set, but we'll see. I might need to sell some bits to him.
What can I do for you? All right.
Okay. I think I might need to sell some bits to him, just to. I've got so many mana stones. I'm going to sell all those. I've got quite a lot of predator bones as well. I've got quite a lot of occult remains. I'll sell half of my stash of those. I'll sell half of my stash of those. Confirm transaction.
What can I do for
so
you?
craft me something.
Here's what I need.
So he can make armor with blue sand. 400 silver for the. Okay. How much have I got? Let's check it out.
What can I do for you? All right.
Okay, so let's sell stuff to make up to the 400. Because what I find is a load of stuff that I just don't use, really. I mean, I got these stealth potions ages ago, and I read the description and thought, oh, awesome. I'll probably use those, and I haven't. Let's sell half of those. The rags, I think that's why I'm always overweight. I should be using the consumables, but I don't. I'm going to keep the spiritual varnish, even though it's quite easy to find. Let's sell half of those. I don't want to sell my camouflage tent, that's for sure. Oh, the antler's worth... I don't think I'm going to be able to make up 400. Well, the antler is worth 18, and I've already... I can probably sell half of those as well. Oh yeah, there we go. So that's 400. Let's see what this armor is like. Craft something.
What I need.
You can't see the stats beforehand, so I guess I could cheat and look online, but are you sure?
Well, bye.
Blue Sand Horrors log. Okay.
What can I do for you? And if I decide
I thought he was mumbling under his breath there. Okay, so I'm going to have to come back later for that. If you've got any questions, you're having any difficulty with things, just let me know and I'll do a video. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. The only thing I would recommend that I don't do, which I should do, is basically just keep my backpack, you know. Be sensible about what you're carrying around with you. But I just can't do that. So I'm going to head back to Berg. Little adventure back to Berg. I'm going to stop the video now. As I said, yeah, if there's anything you want to know, let me know and I'll answer it or I'll do a video. Yeah, thanks for watching.